Greetings everybody! This is your favourite convict, B. Harper from supermarcy.com, and welcome again to another book review. Now we are going to say goodbye to Ezio by reviewing Assassin's Creed Revelations by Oliver Bowden. This is the third and final instalment of the Ezio Auditore saga, and it is also the fourth game in the Assassin's Creed franchise. I'm getting better at this. So as per usual, this is going to be a spoiler-free review, so before I continue any further, I'm going to read the back blurb of the book. Here we go. Older, wiser, and more deadly than ever, Master Assassin Ezio Auditore embarks on an epic journey to find the lost library of Altair, a library that may hold the key to defeating the Templars forever. However, a shocking discovery awaits him. The library holds not only hidden knowledge, but also the most unsettling secret the world has ever known. A secret the Templars hope to use to control the humankind's destiny. 5 keys are needed to access the library. To find them, Ezio must travel to the troubled city of Constantinople, where a growing army of Templars threaten to destabilize the Ottoman Empire. Walking in the footsteps of his predecessor Altair, Ezio must defeat the Templars for the final time. For the stakes have never been higher, and what started as a pilgrimage has become a race against time. That sounds really exciting, doesn't it? Well, here's the thing. The game, and don't worry, I'm not going to draw too much of a comparison here, just for the sake of spoilers and whatnot, but the game is boring. Now, before I go into the negatives here, in terms of how it reflects in the book, let me give you a basic idea about what this game is about. This game is first and foremost about Ezio coming full circle. Ezio has lived a heck of a life. He's done lots of things, some of them he's not proud of, but they are decisions that he has to live with for the rest of his life. So he has gone on a globetrot, if you will. He's going from country to country, spreading the word and training new assassins and recruiting people into the Assassin's Order, but at the same time it's a very personal journey for him. So he finds himself in Constantinople, which is, or rather was, the crossroads of the world. You have the East and the West coming together to meet as one. And then you have this whole explosion of culture and people and all these really fascinating things like going on. So when he gets to Constantinople, he sees that the Templars want to access Altair's library, and, you know, assassins can't have that. So once again, Ezio kills random Templars, gets the key, and finally he understands what his life has been about. Too bad the rest of the game does not support, or rather lends very little support to this idea. This game works so well as a character study, and so does the book. And that's what I feel, or rather that's why I feel the book is better than the game. You see, the book doesn't just cover the events of the game, but it just, you know, it covers the rest of the events that have occurred before and after. Yeah, it's this is hard. But let me just give you the what I really like about the book. Well, once again, Bowden is amazing of getting into Ezio's brain and really telling you what he's feeling and what he's thinking, and the justifications of his actions. And there are quite a few exciting parts in this book, especially when it comes to the political conspiracies that Ezio finds himself in. Ezio rubs shoulders with Suleiman the Great, or rather Suleiman before he became Suleiman the Great, and this is a really interesting thing, because Ezio realizes that, you know, Suleiman is bound for very fantastical things, whereas back in the day Ezio didn't really care, you know, hide a hair for how famous Da Vinci was going to be or anything like that. So Ezio is highly aware of the world around him, but at the same time he's still not quite sure what he is fighting for. He's going through a crisis of confidence, if you will. He's going through a crisis of identity. He likes to tell himself that he is doing the right thing, but at what cost? becoming an assassin has permanently changed him. He is no longer a Florentine noble working in a cushy family. Like, he's not the young brash brat he used to be. He's older, he's wiser, he's far more weary to the world. Ezio is like an old bear. A big old bear with a big deep voice, and he knows stuff. He knows a lot of stuff and things. But, okay, this is difficult. Okay, so here is what really brings the book down. Other than the character stuff, there's no sense of stakes. Even though the back blurb will tell you otherwise, there's no real sense of urgency in Ezio's actions. And most of the people that Ezio encounters and that he interacts with really aren't that interesting. You have this character named Yusuf, and he's the leader of the Constantinople Assassin Order, and he's kind of fun. But one of the glaring errors in this book, and the game for that matter, is Ezio's love interest, Sofia. Sofia is not a bad character, but when you think of Ezio Auditore, Ezio is a man of action. You may debate that, you know, he just wants to settle down with a lovely woman and raise a family and everything, and yeah, okay, I can get that. But she doesn't have the same sort of fire that Ezio has. Ezio may be older, he may have, bloodied his hands substantially, but that doesn't mean that he still doesn't have the passion for life that he used to have. He's had to bury it deep, but I don't feel it's gone. And Sofia does not represent that sense of adventure and the drive to keep going and, bring forth the word of the assassins. It is kind of sad, actually. I don't have anything against, having a love interest, but make sure the love interest is interesting. Make this love interest absolutely compatible for the male, or rather any sort of protagonist. Not just have them there because the story demands it. And even though there's a couple of bad guys at work here, the only bad guy that I remember from the game, and really in this book that gets more emphasis, is a heavy. Not a lead baddie, but just, some sort of sadistic and malevolent expat soldier named Shikulu. Shikulu he's a sadist. He loves to commit murder. He loves getting his hands dirty, and he just delights in the fact that he's causing pain. When you have a story whose only really memorable bad guy character is a lackey, you're having problems. To Bowden's credit, he doesn't just cover the events of the game itself, he also manages to make a really great attempt at showing you what Ezio's life has been like up to that point. And yeah, it's really interesting just to see him, just to sort of catch up with Ezio after all this time. Last time we saw him, he was, at the end of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and a lot of stuff has changed and everything. So you got to wonder to sort of, I completely screw that up. You got to wonder that what has Ezio been up to? What has he been up to all this time? And where has he been? Where is he going? Like, what's going on with his family? Everything like that. So credit to Bowden for actually making that approach, but I really don't think this story was that interesting. And it's not Bowden's fault. It's the fault of other people, but it's not Bowden's in this case. And he does what he can with the material, and, bless him for it. His appreciation for the time frame, as well as the cultural sensitivity, is very admirable. And he doesn't fall back on the notion of stereotype. He works with what he has been given, and he uses the research that he's made in ample prospect. So, yeah, you got to understand, like, when I saw the trailer for this game, it really looked like a wonderful final chapter to Ezio's story. It's just got him just, sailing the world and wondering what it's all been about, and just killing Templars left and right and centre. It's really, really great. But the story itself, it doesn't have agency. it doesn't have the punch and the drive and the fact that this is Ezio's final, face-off with the Templars. It needs to be a worthy swan song. After Cesare Borgia, after the whole conspiracy, after the death of his family and everything like that, there needs to be something a lot more deep and personal about what he's fighting for. So, in my final analysis, if you can call it that, I give Assassin's Creed Revelations a 3 out of 5. I do commend Bowden for his writing and his understanding and interpretation of the characters and the world of which they live in. That's fantastic. But you can't have a great story that's not based on a good story. I'm not sure if that made sense, but there you go. But, yeah, as you can see, this one's, really difficult for me to review. And I feel the reason why I was not as receptive is that, I didn't have a good time with the game, and that really did heavily influence my enjoyment of the book. My loss. So thank you very much again, guys, for listening to me ramble, and as usual, I shall see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.